lot about, trying to make your way inside the paint and with entry passes and all that, but it seemed very hard, especially in that second half, for you guys to get successful entry passes in. They seem to be denying a lot. Is that the case? What was so hard about getting the ball?
Yeah, Towson is a good defensive team. I feel like we just didn't execute how Frank wanted us to execute, and we got to get better in that department. So I feel like with better execution, we could have got the ball inside more. We made some lackadaisical passes in there. Yeah, like I said, just got to get better and execute on offense better.
Did you guys feel like you were closing the gap in the second half, or did that kind of 12-point deficit feel bigger than it was with how tough it was to score?
Yeah, I think for like a couple minutes right there, it was like 47 to 59 for a long time right there. Yeah, we definitely felt like we were coming back. Me getting some buckets, Matt, just getting guys in there and stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, Townsend's a good team. They're a championship team, and we tip our hats off to them. And just look forward to the next one.
This is game number 2 of the season, game number 2 of an entire new team together. And obviously the offense isn't going to come together overnight.
Right.
What are the next steps in your eyes or in the team's eyes, would you say, in getting that offense to where you guys want it to be?
I feel like just watching some film and getting together and just seeing mistakes that we're making on offense. Coach felt like we were whiffing some screens, stuff like that, cleaning those type of things up. Just little detail stuff. Townsend, they closed gaps on us, so we really couldn't drive much. But things like that, like you said, it's not an overnight thing where our offense will be, good. This is a new team, and we'll have it together.
Obviously, Matt wasn't on the court for the first game, but what was it like to have him out there for this game?
Yeah, we love Matt. We love his toughness. We love his physicality. He brings that to the team, and he can also shoot it from outside too as well. Yeah.
You had a very efficient game in your shooting percentage at the rim with layups and stuff, but that was not necessarily the case with most of the players in the team. How is it something that you work on? How is it something that you maybe improve in terms of finishing at the basket?
I guess that's just my game, that part of I've been in college for a very long time, as you guys can tell. But yeah, I feel like that part of my game is just polished, it's like second nature, you know what I mean? Just finishing around the rim, having a soft touch, being able to absorb contact and finish layups. So.
It just seemed like you guys were able to be physical enough with them, get a lot of them into foul trouble. Does it feel like you guys have the pieces there to be able to put things together, given a little bit of time that you're going to have?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like me and Wildens will be able to, with our physicality and our size, be able to punish guys in the low post. We should have took that advantage with Townsend having so many fouls. The guards as well, the way they play defense, like Noah, heating up guys, heating up point guards, Sewell, Keon, so it'll all come together.
Anything else for Isaac? Great. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I gotta listen to the words of wisdom here.
Tell me, boy. You've actually interviewed me after losing a game in front of 78,000 people, so if I didn't have good words then, I know I don't have any now.
All right, Head Coach Frank Martin. Coach, if you want to start off with a statement, then we'll open the floor for questions.
Oh, I mean, as a coach, you don't like to, I think I've shared this before. I'm not one of those believers that you need to lose games to learn. I mean, that's not the deal. I'm not a fan of that statement. I always refer to my teaching days, and if that's the way you work, if that's
Sorry, Frank.
yeah. Why am I not surprised it's you? If that's the way it works, then my teaching days I should only teach people when they fail an exam. I mean, I've never comprehended that whole deal. But like I've been telling our players for the last 2 days, because we weren't very good. We weren't very good in practice before Central, and we went out and played that way. But then we came out in the second half with a little bit of an edge because we're really good for 5 weeks in practice, and overwhelmed them. They just couldn't deal with the size and Pat Sellers is trying to build a program. He's in his second year. Pat Scarry now, I'm going off the top of my head, but I think before Pat got there, Towson had won 20 games once in its history. I think they've won 20 games 4 in the last 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a winning DNA on his team, and they're all seniors. And that's all I told our players. I said, you guys are going to go play this game, and you're going to find out what it's like to play against a winning team. Because winning teams don't overwhelm you with talent. They punish you for your mistakes. And every time we made a mistake today, they punished us. They cut harder. They screened better. They ran their all. I don't think we executed anything coming out of a timeout today, offensively or defensively. So, but this is a learning experience. I got to learn from the team. I haven't coached these guys, I coached my son for 8 months last year, and then Wilden's, obviously, I know him like a book, but the other guys, I've never coached them. So I got to understand how they manage those bad days. And I'll say one more thing, then I'll answer questions. And as bad as I thought we played against Central, we came in and practiced worse on Tuesday. And folks up here in Massachusetts are going to get bored listening to me talk about practice. I'm still old-fashioned. I love practice. And when teams don't practice well, I don't believe they deserve to play well. And we were worse on Tuesday than we actually played on Monday. Then came back yesterday, and we started pretty good, but about 45, 50 minutes in, practice started dragging. Hour 15 minutes in, it was awful. And I was gonna, like people like to say, I was gonna go Frank Martin on them, but I said, you know what, Frank, you got a brand new team, you can't do that. Can't do that because they're gonna crack. So I let it be, and I said, we'll learn by the way we'll play tomorrow. And that's exactly what happened. So now we gotta learn. Now we gotta learn, and we gotta take advantage of today to comprehend. First of all, we gotta take ownership individually. And then we have to, it's a journey, man. This thing's hard. What we sign up to do, it's hard. That's why we play Towson. I put them on the schedule on the date that we did on purpose, because we got 3 hard games next week. And I didn't want to go into Myrtle Beach beating 2 inferior teams and not be prepared for the kind of teams that we're going to play over there. So that's why we scheduled Towson when we did.
All right, questions for Coach?
You talk about it being a journey, and now that you have this this first loss under your belt,
Yeah.
how can you take this going into next week to maybe help the team create a little bit better cohesion with it being such a new team?
Yeah, I mean, the season teaches you to either become a winning team or a losing team. You don't go through the season and stay the same. And winning teams take ownership individually and collectively every day, not just after a loss. And we're trying to figure out who we are. We're not there. We got good dudes. I like my team. I'm not going to bed today saying I hate these guys. I can't wait to practice them on Saturday. I'm going to bury them. I'm not doing that. These guys have been great. These guys come in here every day and work their tails off, and we've had 4 bad days. And we didn't deserve to win today. We didn't prepare well enough to go play a high-level opponent as far as who they are as a team. That's we got to take advantage of the moment to learn and move forward, not backwards, not blame, not push. No, move forward and grab each other and force us to move forward.
Is the offensive output a credit to Towson's defense, or due to more of a lack of execution on your guys' part?
Yeah, Towson's defense is good. Like, going into the game, we didn't want a ball screen because their ball screen defense is elite. And everything I wanted to do was like set screens and post them and cut them, not ball screen. We never set a single screen. We never cut, because all we did was jog and whiff. And guys that were supposed to take screens just kind of waltzed towards the sideline, and their physicality just, you know, just they were just better than us today. It's but offensively, we chart free throws, and we're a really good free throw shooting team. Like, not okay, we're a really good shooting free throw team. We missed free throws today, like, and that when I'm watching guys shoot free throws, their faces not engaged, and it's directly correlated to our lack of preparation coming into the game.
Obviously, it's game 2
Yeah.
of an entirely new team with everyone kind of coming here all at the same time. What are the short-term steps in terms of improving the offense into getting it to where you end up wanting it to be in the future?
Well, that's why we scheduled Towson. You see, Towson's a team you play in the first round of the NCAA tournament. That's who Towson is. When you're at one of those big schools and your team's going, you know you're going in, you sit there and your name comes on the board and you're like, okay, who are we playing? It says Towson. You're like, I don't want to play them. I don't want to play them. That's who they are. They're a good team. And that's why we put them on the schedule. We had to learn. We're not going to get anything out of our team by tricking us that we're good. We got to go play good teams, and we got to learn what it takes. I said this the other day. I think I said it in a press conference. Watch film. See guys that got unbelievably great individual players, and I'm like, we won't beat them. Then you watch other teams, and you're like, whoo, how are we going to beat them? And they don't have those first round picks. You know, when I'm watching Towson, I'm saying we got to be good for the next 2 days. And we weren't. And as the 2 days went by, I realized, like, this isn't going to be good. First play of the game. Think about the first play of the game, first play of the second half. Just think about those 2 plays. You know, we get back cut and we deny. So getting back cut is part of it. We practice that every day, and we usually meet that guy at the rim. And they call a foul, but you're not getting it. He just backdoored and shot a layup. And then the first play of the second half, we know they hedge that ball screen really hard. So, you know, I told Wildens to slip, and he slips, and it's him in the rim, and he shoots the ball like into the bottom of the rim. You know, it's you schedule real teams. You know what people should be asking? Why isn't some high major school schedule Towson? Why some high major schools didn't schedule Towson? You know why? Because that's the team that you play in the first round of the tournament. So you'd like to get your team prepared to play teams like that. That's the question that some people should be asking out there. Why all the so-called established teams avoid Towson? Because that's why Pat had games left, because nobody wanted to play them.
You had, I guess, 9 guys tonight between either 18 or 25 minutes, just looking down the box score. Do you feel, I guess, your substitution pattern tonight was more reactionary to what you're seeing on the court? Like, how close are you, just although you're in game 2, is to having kind of a set rotation kind of moving forward to next week?
Yeah, I couldn't find a single guy that was engaged with what we're doing today. So when guys aren't ready to play, I'm not Mr. Chipper when guys aren't prepared to play. So when they make mistakes, I don't care if you're Sindarius Thornwell, who was Player of the Year in the SEC, or Jacob Pullen, who was Player of the Year in the Big 12, or you're the guys that I'm trying to figure out now. You're not ready to play, I'm yanking you. And I don't have patience for guys who are not. You get 30 opportunities a year, 30. I'm trying to help these guys understand how to become men. One day they're going to be husbands, fathers. They don't get 2-week vacation from those jobs. So if they don't understand how to be selfless and fully committed to being the best that they can be for those 30 opportunities, that makes them really selfish. I've got to change that behavior. So when guys aren't ready to go on game day, I'm yanking, you know, and that's kind of what you saw today.
Obviously, you didn't have Matt for the first game of the season. Just what did you see from him in his first game of UMass?
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw his abilities and the things that he can be good at, but lack of practice. And, you know, when you don't practice, it's hard to get it's hard to understand the speed at which you have to cut, screen, read, make decisions when you play a team like Towson without practicing. Now, Matt had been playing for me for the last 2 years, and he misses 2 days, he'd be okay. But it's, it's first year, and it's, I've shared this before, and I'm gonna share it again. We've all ended up here on our team because of failure. And that doesn't make us failures. It just means that we've all failed, and that brought us together. Now we have to understand that whatever behaviors in the past led us to fail, we got to avoid those, and we got to come together and use this moment to embrace one another and do more for each other. Not blame, not deflect accountability, and just come in here Saturday and be excited about the next step.
Second half score reflected a much different game in a way in terms of being much closer, but still it seemed like Towson left the door open a little bit for a comeback. But
Yeah.
some opportunities were there and were not taken. What would you say could have been done differently to take those easy layups? And those opportunities?
I told the team, obviously things happen behind the scenes that I'm not gonna share because that's between me and players. Nothing negative, but there's behaviors that we deal with. And if players ever wanna share their journey, that's on them, I don't do it. But I was not happy on Tuesday. Tuesday was a disappointing day for me in practice because we didn't prepare well, we didn't play well. I'm used to, and this is me too, I gotta find patience because I got a brand new team. I'm used to teams coming in after not playing well and saying, that's not what we do around here. And we didn't have that. Instead, we were worse. And, so we've got to understand each other and not run away from one another as we go through this journey. And it's, they've been great. Let me tell you something. If we had been BS for 5 weeks, I would not be sitting up here speaking the way I am right now. I'd be real short with you because I can't wait to get out of here so I can go break bad habits. We got good dudes. Those guys really care. They want to be good. They don't know how to be good yet. We got to use these moments to teach, to stay positive with them so we can get where we're headed. Those guys go to class. We got no academic issues. I've asked some of those guys to change their lives off the court. They have. They practice really hard. They go in the weight room and they've committed to the weight room. See, all that, when you're not used to working a certain way and all of a sudden you start working a certain way, it's all new. So maybe if you ask them, I got no idea. Man, I'm not used to practicing so hard between games. Well, bad news. That's every day because you gotta answer the bell, man. In life, if you don't show up and do your job, they send you packing. You can't show up and just kind of be an empty suit. And that's the journey. That's who I am. That's what my team's always been. And that's what I'm trying to teach these guys. We'll get it. We'll get there. We got good dudes. I enjoy these guys tremendously.
Last one for Coach. Go ahead, Peter.
How much of an impact did the difference in experience between the two teams have? They had their starting lineup, I believe, was 2 grad students and 3 seniors.
Yeah, and I didn't fully answer your last question. I just realized that. In life, you get what you deserve. I'm a true believer in that. Good things don't happen to bad people, okay? When you don't put in the time, you deal with heartache, period, end of story. We didn't deserve for that ball to go in the basket today. I told our team that. We could have made some of those layups, and we could have grabbed one of those defensive rebounds off missed free throws that we didn't. We could have made the free throws rather than miss them, and now we're in a 2-point game, and come on, we got a chance. It would have been phony. It would have been real, and ask me the second question again.
The difference in experience.
Yeah, we got old players too. Wildens Lebec is old. My son is old. Noah's old. TJ's old. Isaac's old. We got old players. The difference is they're a cohesive unit that's won a league championship together. We're not there. Does that make sense? We got a bunch of guys that have just showed up here, and we see they've already been through the journey as a unit. and they understand how to win as a unit. They understand what makes them win. Mick Cronin had a great line. He said, the difference between winners and losers is winners know why they win, losers don't know why they lose. I think it's a great line, and they already know why they win. That's who they are. Every time Towson plays, go watch film. Every time they play exactly the same way. And that's who we gotta become. We got older players, we got good dudes. We gotta utilize this to help us grow, and like I said, bring us closer together.
Great, thanks, Coach.
And please, don't ever say I gave Mick Cronin credit for anything.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.